Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm playing along with 30 Days of Sketches. This is a Christy Harriman YouTube series. She has a channel called Christy's Beautiful Life where she shares 30 layouts over 30 days using 30 different sketches. And throughout the month, different YouTubers join in sharing their takes on the daily sketches. Now, today's sketch is a Kelly Hollyfield sketch. That's what you see on the screen. And you're going to find links to all of today's participants in the information box below. Now, here's what I'm going to be using. I have material from Amy Tangerine's Late Afternoon collection, along with some bits and pieces from Vicki Boutin's Let's Wander collection. I did very little preparation in advance. All I did was mat 2 photos in black cardstock. And what I'm showing you here is everything I have on my desk. I have the sketch, of course, along with some paper that's been cut up a little bit already. And I also have a tray full of embellishments that I plan to use a little bit later on. Now what I'm going to do is speed up the film a bit, and you will see the sketch up in the top left-hand corner. So what I'm going to do now is prepare my mini page. That's basically all of those pieces of paper that you see underneath the photo, the title, and the journaling. So I'm starting with that red chunk of paper there that I already cut, and now I'm cutting the banner, except I'm not going to do a banner. I end up just tearing the end, and that strip of paper that's on top of the banner, that one there is simply a branding strip that I had on my desk. I used a tearing tool from Creative Memories, and you're going to see in a minute, I find I tore it a little bit too much of an angle. So now what you see me doing was just readjusting it a bit. And I am putting measurements for everything that I'm doing on the screen. So if you want to follow along, you can. I'm marking my paper here now because I do want to recuperate a bit of that lined paper for later on. So what I'm going to do is just cut a chunk of it out that's going to be hidden by that red paper, because as you can see on the sketch, the journaling is to go in those circles, and so you'll see what I do with that a little bit later on. I end up finding that the banner, which isn't a banner at all, it's a torn piece of paper, is a little bit too short. So what you're going to see me do is just cut it, and I'm fudging it a bit just to stretch it out a little bit. And before adhering all of this, of course, I do have to cut out some circles. So I'm going to get out my Big Shot. You're going to see that in a minute. And I'm going to cut the circles in 3 different papers. So I have that black sketchy lined paper there, as well as this gold paper with the little flowers on it, and I end up cutting some circles as well out of that lined paper. So I will put measurements for everything I'm doing on the screen, like I said, including these circles, and I end up cutting 7 circles really, but there are going to be 5 circles on the page compared to the 4 that you see on the sketch, and then 2 of the circles are going to be doubled up with that lined paper for my journaling. I just feel I need a little bit more space for the journaling for this particular story. So there you have it, all the circles that I cut out, and now what I'm going to do is just place everything on the page to make sure I like it. I cut this branding strip down, but in the photos at the very end of this video, you're going to notice I end up tearing that branding strip along the same line as that torn piece of plaid paper. So I'm playing around a little bit with these circles here, so you're going to see how they get placed. In the end, a lot of this does get covered up simply because I add my embellishment clusters, but anyway, this is the process. So I'm showing you the title. As you can see on the sketch, it goes above that photo on the right. Mine, I'm using those thickers from Vicki Boutin's Let's Wander collection, and I end up deciding to put some of it on top of the photo. It's Exploring Doolin. And again, I knew this simply because I had placed my title on wax paper, which permitted me to play with placement a bit. So now I'm adhering everything to the page as I had placed it a few moments ago. And once I get all of this down, then what I'll do is start playing with the embellishment clusters. This is really an easy sketch. It was an easy sketch for me anyway, and I'm actually quite anxious to see how the other participants interpreted it. I'm pretty much going with it as is on the screen, and anyway, I quite like it. So as you can see, I've got almost everything adhered down. I will start placing my title, and then I will stop the camera and continue placing the title before I start working on embellishments. And while I'm doing this, I do want to point out at the very end, you may notice the lined paper on this page ends up being slightly different because anyway, I made a little mistake after the video finished and I had to replace it. Anyway, what I'm doing now is digging into those embellishments, and most of them come from the Amy Tangerine Late Afternoon collection. So I'm just piling it up, and as you can see, I end up covering up actually a lot of those circles. That's just part of the creative process, but I do end up quite liking how this page looks. So I guess it's all just part of the game when you're scrapbooking. Anyway, another thing I want to point out, I'm playing around with the ephemera here now, and now I'm getting out the stickers. Now, a lot of the same images are there, but I felt like I didn't want to mix the two up because the ephemera pack, it's got like a matte finish, and these stickers are kind of shiny, and I didn't like, for example, mixing up the flowers on the sticker sheet with the boots on the ephemera sheet. I just felt they didn't match. So I decided to reserve the stickers for smaller pieces. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but I really wanted to keep the ephemera pieces different than the sticker sheets. So what I'm doing is keeping the ephemera pieces bigger and the sticker pieces smaller. Now I'm going into an old Vicki Boutin sticker sheet, and I'm just adding a few final touches. Most of the bigger stuff came from the Late Afternoon collection, but then I went into this sticker pack from the Let's Wander collection from Vicki Boutin, and I'm adding a few black accents really. So I'm adding that circle that you see me struggling with at the top there. Basically, it says something like take the scenic route, and I didn't want to cover up all of the words, so I was kind of struggling around with placement with that. And then I also struggle a bit with the decision making with that circle that's tucked around those boots at the bottom. I'm also putting in just a little expression at the top there above that title because I felt that there was a little bit of space there that I wanted to fill in, and it says something like all packed and ready to go. This was documenting a little excursion in Ireland that I had while on vacation 2 years ago. So I'm pretty much finished here. The mistake I made at the very end of this video, after it ended the video, is I decided to add splatters in the top and bottom corners, and I ended up really not liking it. So I scrambled to find another piece of lined paper to replace it, and that's what you see there. And I hadn't taken my pictures yet for this video. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Scrapbooking Quebec, I'd be absolutely thrilled if you did. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.